And blessings, Hetepu. We're going to move through this next section of possible solutions to help create better balance within you when you are faced with depression, grief or loss, and with also how to create better balance in your home environment as it relates to cleanliness, having order, and also dealing with the issue of hoarding, which is an imbalance. It is not considered, from the Maatian perspective, an ideal situation to be have your surroundings overdone with material things. Okay, it represents something greater than just I like to have a lot of things around me, and we will address that. So depression can be episodic, meaning an event happens, you lose your job, you lose a friendship, you had a quote unquote argument with your mate, and you withdraw. And depression has multiple levels and layers. It can also be learned behavior. Okay? You see your mother and your father, they have a discussion, a quote unquote argument, and they withdraw and they don't talk to each other for months, for weeks, for days. And, it takes some other event in order to break the deadlock. But depression can also be long-term. And when it is long-term, it is troubling. And that kind of depression, which sometimes will lead to a person, as I said before, not even wanting to work or face the world, then we are in a serious state, and either the person or the partner, the husband or the wife, need to do something to get the person help. They need to get therapeutic support. In a situation of losing a husband or a child, okay, this life event is often a traumatic event in one's life, especially if there was a close bond, if there was a strong bond. Be that as it may, many people, I would not say most people, but a great many human beings have a lot of challenges in overcoming or managing the emotions, tears, at the loss. And sometimes it will take time for them to recalibrate. Ultimately, we must go back to a life that allows us to be able to continue with life, continue on with life. So we don't want to overextend grief and make it a forever situation, but we need to give it its due, its time. So in grief counseling, which I have done, there is this concept that you must come to closure in your life with that person. Some say, I am not one of those persons, that you should give it 2 years and then you should move on. Get married again, or, have another baby or something like that. Okay? In some cases, the belongings of the person is packed up and stored away or given away. And in some cases, depending on the culture you're in, they're burned. Okay? The closure that is talked about in Western societies, however, is sometimes ill-advised. I would go so far as to say that it is not possible to dictate when a person is able to come to a place of balance or inner acceptance of the fact that the person is no longer in their life. So you cannot dictate this closure, okay? You cannot. Every single solitary one of us is different. For some people, 2 years is enough. For some people, it would take 10 years. For some people, it would take 20 years. For some people, it would take 30 years, where they're always missing the person. They come to the different stages of grief. You come to a place where you accept the fact that the person is gone, but you still miss hearing their voice. You cannot simply just close them out or close them off forever, and you should not. What is the legacy, the gift that you received when you were with this person or this child? In the history of our ancestral way in our Kebulon, there is a concept that there is no such thing as death, and that we come again and again into life simply to change our coat and come back and learn another lesson and go back to heaven or the divine or the inner world or back to the world of the ancestors. And this body that we have is not us. There's a spirit within it, and when we pass on, the body is dealt with and the spirit moves on. This passing of the body allows for us to transition. So the person's spirit, that child, that husband, that wife, is still around you. That family member, that grandmother, that great-grandmother, their spirit is still around you. They're still concerned about you. Okay, you are still concerned about them. Some of the things that you can do is to create a memorial right there in your house, a little altar, right? You get a picture, you get some water, some flowers, some incense. This is the simplest way that you can do. If you go to our site, Temple Amenemaku, I mentioned before that we did the event of the Black Genocide Memorial Day, where we venerated and we gave honor to our ancestors who died, passed on, who were shackled in slavery from the transatlantic slave trade, and those who came into the slavery experience in the West, in the New World, and that we were able to have an international event to honor them. So you can go to that site and you will see how to do libation, all of the things you need to, a fuller explanation. The yearly memorial that many people have is also an indicator of the memories, where you come and you talk about stories of the things that the person did and so on and so forth, and you joke about it and you laugh about the funny things they did and some of the great things that they did to further the family, to further, others, and things that they accomplished, dreams and goals that they fulfilled. When you're recalling those memories, you are building family bonds. So do not think of your loved one as being dead. Think of them, I say, as having transitioned, as having returned to the world of spirit, because we are spirit. That may help you to understand that, you can keep the connectivity. It's not wrong to keep the memories. I just want to add a little thing about that. One of the other things that our ancestors taught us is that community, life, is constructed from a holistic perspective. Those who have passed on are part of community. those of us who are living in the physical phenomenal world, which is what this is, the physical world, and the ancestors that are not yet born is considered as community. The children that are not yet born are considered as ancestors returning to the world. And so families and family ancestral lines is a composite of these three parts. So remember that just as your loved one has transitioned, you can find a way to hold on to those memories. Last thing I want to say about that is that unfortunately, sometimes the grief and the loss is so much, as in the case of a child, the husband and wife cannot continue in the marriage. It becomes lost. With regards to the environment, I say to you in your interaction, because I've counseled people who have a lot of head bumping in terms of how the house should look and what should be done and how it should be fixed and how the cleanliness should be kept. I say to you in your family, develop a chore list. Everyone, husband, wife, children, everyone should have a chore. Everyone should contribute to the cleanliness of the home, no matter how young they are. Even 3-year-olds can do something, okay? Put it on the refrigerator or a closet door so everyone can see. Have regular family meetings to discuss the holes, the glitches, where things fall apart, where people forgot to do their chore to contribute. Because everyone lives there, everyone should contribute. Everyone should participate in the cleanliness of the home. Not keeping a clean home often becomes a haven for rodents, okay? And that, again, creates an unsanitary and clean environment. So those are some of the basic things that you can do. The other thing is the imbalance of hoarding. This is not just a simple matter of keeping things in order or putting things in closets or in rows or making lists or whatever. The personality who has hoarding tendencies, unfortunately, there are deep roots in an internal deficit seeking to be fulfilled. And a lot of these deficits are often found in the formative years of 1 to 14. Sometimes persons who grow up in great abject poverty, not having enough to eat, not having enough clothes to wear, living in shambling conditions, okay? They find this need to hoard, to overbuy. They check out their bank account. You go into their homes and there is stuff that has been bought again and again, never opened for years, okay? They diminish the family account and the other person oftentimes does not know that it has been done. It is an illness and therapy is needed, okay? Find a therapist who can be empathic, who can be caring, and who can help to guide you through this deficit so that you find a better and a stronger footing. And in that way, you can create a greater harmony in your life. Wisdom seeds can help, but the habit requires psychotherapy to become free of such obsessive, compulsive behavior. Thank you for listening. Hetepu, peace and blessings.